Welcome back to our channel Pocket Change Coins. Coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're going to explore a coin that many of you might have seen in your coin jar or old change but may not have realized the hidden treasure it could be. We're diving deep into the history and value of the 1965 Washington $quarter Liberty coin. This coin, often overlooked, has the potential to be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how valuable this coin can be. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932, celebrating George Washington's 200th birthday. The coin quickly became a staple of U.S. currency, with its iconic design of Washington's portrait on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. But in 1965, things took a turn for the Washington quarter. The country was going through a difficult period, with the cost of silver rising, and the U.S. Mint was forced to alter the composition of the coin. Instead of being made from 90% silver, like the quarters before it, the 1965 Washington quarter was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, a decision that marked a significant shift in the history of U.S. coinage. Now, let's talk about the design on the 1965 Washington quarter. The obverse features a portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington's image is shown in a classic and dignified profile, with the inscription "Liberty" above and the year 1965 below. The reverse of the coin shows the traditional eagle design, symbolizing strength and freedom, which has been a part of U.S. coinage for centuries. The words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum" appear around the eagle, with $quarter below. Although the 1965 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities, the changes in its composition and the subsequent shift in the way it was produced created a unique point in U.S. coin history. These coins were mass-produced and circulated widely, but as time went on, many of them became worn and damaged due to daily transactions. The minting process of that era also led to several key factors that make certain 1965 quarters valuable today. One of the most important things to keep in mind when evaluating the value of a 1965 Washington quarter is its condition. Coins that have been in circulation for years often show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and fading can lower a coin's value, especially when it comes to collectors who are looking for pristine, uncirculated examples. A well-preserved coin in excellent condition will always be more valuable than one that has been heavily circulated. This brings us to the idea of mint state coins. If you happen to have a 1965 Washington quarter in mint state, meaning it's never been in circulation and has been kept in perfect condition, it could be worth far more than its face value. Coins that have been well kept and are free from any imperfections are highly prized by collectors, and they command premium prices. The higher the grade of the coin, the higher the price it can fetch. Coins graded as MS-65, MS-66, or higher can bring substantial returns, and if you're lucky enough to find a quarter with a flawless finish, you may have a true gem on your hands. But there's more to the value of the 1965 Washington quarter than just its condition. Over the years, collectors have discovered that certain 1965 Washington quarters possess rare characteristics that make them even more valuable. Some of these rare features come from minting errors, slight mistakes made during the coin's production that make them stand out from the standard issue. Minting errors can range from slight doubling in the design to more extreme cases like misaligned dies or double strikes. These error coins are extremely rare and can fetch a premium on the collector's market. For instance, a double die error could make the lettering or design appear as if it's been struck twice, causing a noticeable distortion. This kind of error is highly sought after by collectors and can significantly increase the value of the coin. Additionally, coins that were struck with worn or damaged dies might have strange markings or blurred designs, which can also add to their rarity and value. The most common mint mark for the 1965 Washington quarter is the D, which signifies that it was minted at the Denver Mint. However, there were also coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint that don't bear a mint mark. While Philadelphia minted coins are generally more common, certain varieties and errors still exist that can drive up the value. another factor to consider when assessing the worth of a 1965 Washington quarter is the silver content. While the coin was no longer made with 90% silver, there are still some rare instances where collectors will pay attention to a particular coin's metal composition. It's important to note that even though the coin was made with a copper-nickel composition, some collectors may still consider the historical context of the 1965 coin in terms of silver's historical importance in U.S. coinage. So, what is the potential value of a 1965 Washington quarter if you have one that's in great condition, or better yet, if you have one with an error? Here's the exciting part: an uncirculated 1965 Washington quarter in perfect condition can be worth a few $100s. But if you're lucky enough to have a coin with a rare minting error, such as a doubled die or a severe misalignment, that's when things get truly exciting. These types of coins can sell for thousands of dollars to the right buyer, but there's one more thing to consider, and it's the big payoff. If you have an exceptionally rare 1965 Washington quarter, one that's in pristine condition or has an extraordinary minting error, you could be sitting on a coin that's worth an incredible $71,000. Yes, that's right, $71,000 for a single quarter. It's hard to believe that a coin worth just 25 cents could appreciate to such an incredible value, but this is the world of rare coin collecting, where the right coin in the right condition can fetch an astonishing price. So, the next time you come across a 1965 Washington quarter, take a closer look at its condition. Check for any unique features, minting errors, or anything that sets it apart from the rest. And if you think you might have a rare find, consider getting it professionally graded to determine its true value. Today, we're diving into a truly special coin from the United States, one that might just be hiding in your coin jar or tucked away in your collection. If you're ready to discover a rare treasure, then today's video on the 1967 Washington $quarter Liberty coin is exactly what you've been waiting for. This coin, though seemingly ordinary at first glance, could hold an extraordinary amount of value. So stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see just how much this 1967 Washington quarter can actually be worth. Let's start with a bit of background on the Washington quarter itself. This coin, first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, has been a mainstay of U.S. coinage for decades. Featuring Washington's iconic profile on the obverse and the majestic eagle on the reverse, the Washington quarter has become one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. The 1967 version of this coin might look similar to others in the series, but there's more to this quarter than meets the eye. In 1967, the U.S. Mint had already made a significant change to the composition of its coins. Instead of using the traditional 90% silver, the Washington quarter was now made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. The country was dealing with rising silver prices, and the mint had to adjust to maintain the availability of coins for circulation. This shift in composition started in 1965, and by 1967, it had become standard practice. As a result, while the 1967 Washington quarter may not have the same intrinsic silver value as earlier versions, it still carries a rich history and, with the right condition or features, can be worth a lot of money. The design of the 1967 Washington quarter is just like other years in the series. The obverse features a portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The year 1967 is inscribed below Washington's bust, and above his head is the word Liberty, representing the strength of the nation. On the reverse, you'll see the familiar eagle perched on a branch, surrounded by the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter. This image has remained a staple of U.S. coins, representing the nation's enduring strength and freedom. While the design of the coin remained unchanged, the 1967 quarter is not as common as you might think. Over the years, many of these coins were heavily circulated, and due to their copper-nickel composition, they can show signs of wear more quickly than silver coins. That means finding a 1967 Washington quarter in mint condition, free from scratches, nicks, and discoloration, can be quite a rare find. This is where the value of the 1967 Washington quarter starts to shine. Coins that have been in circulation for decades often show visible signs of wear, and while they're still valuable to collectors, they won't fetch the same price as a coin in pristine condition. If you happen to have a 1967 Washington quarter that has been well preserved, kept in a safe place and away from the wear and tear of daily life, you might be in luck. A coin in uncirculated or near mint condition is far more valuable than a well-worn one. It's not just the condition that matters when it comes to determining a coin's worth. There are other factors that can make the 1967 Washington quarter stand out. For example, mint marks play a crucial role in assessing the rarity and value of certain coins. The 1967 Washington quarter was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the Denver mint marking its coins with a D. The Philadelphia mint, however, didn't use a mint mark, so those coins can be a little more challenging to identify. But don't be fooled, the value of these quarters isn't solely dependent on the mint mark, but it is still an important detail for collectors. Now, let's talk about something that could really make this coin worth more than you'd expect: minting errors. Like any other coin, the 1967 Washington quarter may have been subject to minting mistakes during its production. These errors can include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or even die cracks, flaws that happen when the dies used to stamp the coin are misaligned or damaged. Minting errors are highly prized by collectors because they represent rare and unique coins that are different from the typical examples. If you happen to find a 1967 quarter with a noticeable error, don't just toss it aside. A minting error could add significant value to the coin, turning what would otherwise be a standard quarter into something far more valuable. In addition to errors, there are some rare variants of the 1967 Washington quarter that could also increase its value. For example, certain coins may have slightly different edge finishes, unusual colorations, or other distinguishing marks that make them unique. Collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of rare variations, so if you happen to find a quarter with a feature that stands out, it could be worth more than you might think. Now, here's the exciting part: what's the potential value of a 1967 Washington quarter if you have one that's in exceptional condition or has a rare minting error? If you've got a pristine, uncirculated quarter from 1967, it could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s, depending on its condition and rarity. However, if you find a rare error coin or one in perfect condition, it could be worth much, much more. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you happen to have a 1967 Washington quarter that's not only in excellent condition but also has a rare minting error or a unique feature, it could be worth an astonishing $74,000. That's right, $74,000. It's incredible to think that a quarter, which was once worth just 25 cents, could now have a price tag in the tens of thousands of dollars. This is the fascinating world of coin collecting, where small, seemingly ordinary coins can become incredibly valuable treasures. So, the next time you're going through your change or sifting through your coin collection, take a moment to examine any 1967 Washington quarters you come across. If it's in mint condition or has a unique error, you might just have a hidden treasure in your hands. And if you're ever unsure about the value of a coin, consider getting it professionally graded. A reputable grading service can help you determine its true value, ensuring you get the best possible price if you decide to sell it. That wraps up today's video on the 1967 Washington quarter dollar Liberty coin. I hope this has sparked your curiosity and maybe even inspired you to dig through your own collection to see what hidden gems you might have. Today, we're about to explore a hidden gem from US coinage that could be worth far more than you might expect. If you've ever wondered if your pocket change might hold a small fortune, this video is for you. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1984 Washington quarter dollar Liberty coin. While most of us probably think of these coins as just another part of our daily transactions, there's a lot more to the 1984 Washington quarter than meets the eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be shocked at how valuable this coin could be. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter has been part of U.S. coinage since 1932, introduced to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Over the years, the design has remained relatively unchanged, with Washington's profile gracing the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. These coins have become a staple in the world of numismatics and are highly recognized for their historical and symbolic significance. Now, let's fast forward to 1984. By this time, the Washington quarter had undergone several changes, but the general design remained the same. The coin was still made from a copper-nickel clad composition, as the U.S. Mint had stopped using silver for most of its circulating coins after the 1960s. The 1984 Washington quarter was produced in large quantities, and most of them entered circulation, used for everyday transactions by millions of Americans. But, just like with any coin, the ones that survived in pristine condition or have a rare feature are the ones that are truly valuable. The 1984 Washington quarter features the classic design that has stood the test of time. On the obverse, you'll find George Washington's portrait, designed by John Flanagan, facing left. His image is surrounded by the word Liberty at the top and the year 1984 at the bottom. The reverse features the eagle, wings outstretched, perched on an olive branch, with United States of America and E pluribus unum surrounding it, and $quarter inscribed below. While this design is iconic, there's something that sets the 1984 Washington quarter apart from other years: its rarity in uncirculated condition. Many of these coins, while not particularly rare in terms of their mintage, have become harder to find in pristine condition due to the decades of wear and tear from daily use. Most quarters from this time period show significant signs of circulation, with scratches, discoloration, and dings. Coins that have survived this long without any noticeable wear are incredibly rare and are worth far more to collectors than a standard, well-used quarter. The condition of a coin is crucial when it comes to its value. In the world of coin collecting, we often hear the term mint state, which refers to a coin that has never been used in circulation and is in perfect, like new condition. If you happen to come across a 1984 Washington quarter in mint state, meaning it has been carefully preserved and stored away from the rigors of everyday transactions, you could be sitting on something quite valuable. These coins are highly sought after by collectors who are looking for coins in pristine condition, and the price can increase dramatically depending on the grade. But there's more to the 1984 Washington quarter than just its condition. Some of these coins also feature unique characteristics that make them even more valuable. For instance, a number of 1,984 quarters were minted with small imperfections, known as mint errors, that can significantly increase their worth. These errors could include misstrikes, double strikes, or even off-center coins that were produced when the dies weren't properly aligned. These mistakes make the coins much rarer and more desirable to collectors, and their value can skyrocket depending on the severity of the error. For example, if your 1984 Washington quarter happens to have a double strike, where the design appears to be imprinted twice on the coin, you could be looking at a very valuable piece. Double-struck coins are highly prized because they're a rare mistake that occurred during the minting process. Even small minting errors, such as a coin with a slight die crack or one with an unusual strike pattern, can make a significant difference in the value of the coin. Another factor to consider when evaluating the value of the 1984 Washington quarter is its mint mark. The U.S. Mint produces coins at different facilities, each with its own mint mark. The 1984 Washington quarter, like other quarters of the era, was minted at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. If you find a coin without a mint mark, it means it was produced in Philadelphia. However, a coin with a D mint mark indicates it was minted in Denver. While there's generally little difference in value between the two, certain mint marks, especially if they're associated with rare variations or errors, can contribute to the coin's value. Now, you're probably wondering, how much can a 1984 Washington quarter actually be worth? Well, it all depends on the condition of the coin, its mint mark, and whether it has any unique characteristics, such as mint errors. While most 1984 Washington quarters are worth just a few dollars, sometimes even less, if you're lucky enough to own one that is in mint condition or has a rare error, you could be looking at something much more valuable. And here comes the exciting part. If you happen to own an exceptional 1984 Washington quarter, in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, or if you have one with a significant minting error, your coin could be worth an incredible $70,000. Yes, that's right, $70,000. It's amazing to think that a coin worth just 25 cents when it was minted can now carry such a high price tag, but this is the world of rare coin collecting, where the right coin, in the right condition, can be worth a fortune. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection or digging through old change, take a close look at any 1984 Washington quarters you find. Check the condition, look for any minting errors, and don't overlook the details. You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. If you're unsure about the value of a coin, consider getting it professionally graded by a trusted numismatic organization. A professional assessment will help you determine its true value, and you could be sitting on a coin worth far more than you imagined. That's all for today's video on the 1984 Washington $quarter Liberty coin. I hope this has given you some valuable insights into how to identify rare and valuable coins in your collection. Today, we have a fascinating coin to explore, one that you might find in your change or sitting in an old coin jar. It's the 1974 Washington $quarter Liberty coin, and believe it or not, this coin could be worth far more than its original face value. So, if you've ever wondered whether your pocket change might hold a hidden treasure, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll see why the 1974 Washington quarter could potentially be worth thousands of dollars. Before we dive into the value of the 1974 Washington quarter, let's take a moment to appreciate the history behind this iconic coin. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Since then, it's been a staple of American coinage, seen in millions of transactions over the decades. The design of the coin has remained largely unchanged, with George Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. Fast forward to 1974, and we're looking at a coin that was made during a time of significant economic change in the United States. The country was still dealing with the aftermath of the 1970s inflationary crisis, and the government was working to ensure a stable circulation of coins. The 1974 Washington quarter, like many others from the era, was produced in large quantities to meet the needs of the economy. While this might make the 1974 Washington quarter seem like just another coin in the series, there's more to it than meets the eye. In terms of design, the 1974 Washington quarter looks almost identical to previous years. On the obverse, we see George Washington's image in profile, facing left. The word Liberty is inscribed above, and the year 1974 is written below his image. On the reverse, the eagle is perched on an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength, with the inscription United States of America surrounding it and E pluribus unum and $quarter, completing the design. At first glance, the 1974 Washington quarter might seem like a standard coin, but there's one thing that sets it apart from others: its rarity in mint condition. Most of these quarters were circulated for years, passing through the hands of countless people. Over time, they became worn and damaged, making uncirculated coins a rare find. So, if you have a 1974 Washington quarter that's still in excellent condition, you might have a real treasure on your hands. Now, let's talk about condition, because it's crucial when it comes to determining a coin's value. In the world of coin collecting, there's a grading system that helps determine the quality of a coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. A coin in mint condition, also known as an uncirculated coin, is a rare find. These coins have been carefully stored and preserved, free from the scratches, dents, and discoloration that often come with years of circulation. Coins that are in excellent condition can command significantly higher prices than those that have been heavily worn. A 1974 Washington quarter in mint or near mint condition is far more valuable than one that shows signs of heavy circulation. So, if you happen to come across a 1974 quarter that looks like it was just minted yesterday, you're in luck. But remember, condition alone isn't always enough to make a coin valuable. Sometimes, it's the unique features that can push the value even higher. Speaking of unique features, let's take a look at mint errors. These mistakes happen during the coin's production process, and they're highly sought after by collectors. Minting errors can include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks, which occur when the dies used to stamp the coin are damaged or misaligned. These errors are rare and can make a coin stand out from the rest, significantly increasing its value. For example, if your 1974 Washington quarter has a noticeable double strike, where the design appears twice on the coin, it could be worth far more than a standard quarter. Similarly, if the coin is off-center or has any other noticeable minting flaw, it could make the coin more desirable to collectors looking for rare and unique pieces. Another factor that contributes to the value of the 1974 Washington quarter is its mint mark. Mint marks are used to indicate where the coin was produced. The 1974 Washington quarter could have been minted at either the Philadelphia Mint, which does not use a mint mark, or the Denver Mint, which uses a D mint mark. Coins from certain mints can sometimes be rarer than others, depending on how many were produced and how many are still in circulation. While the mint mark may not always drastically affect the coin's value, it's still an important detail to consider when evaluating the worth of a coin. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much can a 1974 Washington quarter actually be worth? Most 1974 Washington quarters, when found in circulation, are worth only a few dollars. They're made of a copper-nickel clad composition, so their intrinsic metal value is not particularly high. However, the value increases dramatically when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition or with a rare minting error. A well-preserved coin with no signs of wear or damage can fetch a much higher price, especially if it's a unique version. And here's the big reveal: if you're lucky enough to own a 1974 Washington quarter in mint condition, or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $77,000. Yes, you heard that right, $77,000. It's amazing to think that a coin originally worth just 25 cents could now hold such a high price tag, but that's the magic of rare coin collecting. If you think you might have one of these valuable coins in your collection, it's worth getting it professionally graded by a reputable numismatic organization. A professional evaluation can help you determine the coin's true value and whether it has the potential to be worth a small fortune. Whether you decide to keep it in your collection or sell it, knowing the value of your coin is essential. So, take a close look at any 1974 Washington quarters you come across, especially if they seem to be in exceptional condition. You might just have a hidden treasure worth thousands of dollars. That's all for today's video. Today, we've got a true gem to discuss that could be hiding right in your collection or even in your spare change. That's right, we're talking about the 1979 Washington quarter dollar Liberty coin. You might be thinking, how can a coin that's been around for so long be worth a fortune? Well, stick with me for a bit, and you'll see just how this seemingly ordinary coin could hold the key to a small treasure trove. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the history behind this coin. The Washington quarter dollar has been a cornerstone of American currency since 1932, when it was first introduced to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. With a timeless design featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, the Washington quarter has become an iconic part of U.S. coinage. But we're focusing on the year 1979 today, which was an interesting time in U.S. coinage history. In 1979, the U.S. was still recovering from the high inflation of the 1970s, and the economy was in a period of flux. The coinage of this time, including the 1979 Washington quarter, reflects a period of transition as the U.S. Mint was trying to stabilize the production of its circulating coins. Like most coins of this era, the 1979 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities, and it was intended for widespread circulation. But just because it was produced in vast numbers doesn't mean it's not special. The design of the 1979 Washington quarter is what you would expect from this series. On the obverse, you'll see the profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The word Liberty arches across the top, while the year 1979 is prominently placed at the bottom of the coin. On the reverse, the eagle is perched on an olive branch, wings outstretched, with the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. It's a simple yet elegant design, which is part of the reason why the Washington quarter has remained a beloved piece of American coinage for so long. Now, you may be wondering why a 1979 Washington quarter, which was minted in such large numbers, could be worth much more than face value. The truth lies in its condition, rarity, and sometimes even in small details that many collectors might overlook. While many of these coins have been circulated and show typical signs of wear, there are some key factors that can significantly increase the value of this quarter. The first thing to consider is the condition of the coin. Most 1979 Washington quarters that you come across will have been in circulation for decades, meaning they will show signs of wear and tear. These coins are likely to be tarnished, scratched, and dented from years of use. However, a coin in near-perfect or uncirculated condition is a much rarer find and will naturally be worth more. If you happen to have a 1979 quarter that looks as if it was freshly minted, with sharp details and no noticeable damage, you're looking at a potential goldmine. You may also want to check for any mint errors, which are always highly prized by coin collectors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, causing a coin to have a flaw or unusual feature. These errors can include things like double strikes, where the design appears twice, off-center strikes, die cracks, or even coins with missing details. If your 1979 Washington quarter has any such error, it could be worth a lot more than a standard, error-free coin. For example, a double-struck 1979 Washington quarter could fetch a premium due to its rarity and the unique nature of the mistake. Similarly, if your coin has a slight off-center strike, which means the design isn't perfectly aligned with the edges of the coin, that could also increase its value. Collectors are always on the lookout for these types of rare, error-filled coins, which is why mint errors are so highly sought after in the numismatic world. Another factor to keep in mind when assessing the value of your 1979 Washington quarter is the mint mark. Mint marks are small letters on coins that tell us where the coin was made. The 1979 Washington quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, and while the Philadelphia Mint does not use a mint mark, Denver minted coins feature a small D mint mark. While these mint marks might not seem like a huge deal, coins from certain mints can sometimes be rarer, depending on how many were produced and how many are still in circulation. However, the biggest factor influencing the value of a 1979 Washington quarter is the demand from collectors. Coins from the late 20th century are often not as valuable as those from earlier periods, but when a coin has been preserved in pristine condition, or when it has a rare feature like a minting error or a unique die variety, the value can rise dramatically. For example, coins that were hoarded or carefully stored away can command prices far above what most collectors would expect. So, let's get to the real question: how much is your 1979 Washington quarter actually worth? In general, a standard 1979 Washington quarter in circulated condition will only be worth its face value of 25 cents. However, if you've got one in mint or near mint condition, or if you found a coin with a rare minting error or unique feature, you could be sitting on a fortune. If your 1979 Washington quarter is in excellent condition or has a noteworthy minting error, it could fetch up to $67,000. That's right, $67,000. Imagine holding on to a quarter for all these years and finding out that it's worth that much. Coins like these are incredibly rare, and finding one in the right condition with a unique feature is like discovering a hidden treasure in your collection. So, the next time you're going through your change or checking your coin collection, make sure to take a good look at any 1979 Washington quarters you come across. Check the condition, look for mint marks, and keep an eye out for any possible minting errors. You might just have a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. If you think you might have a rare one, getting it professionally graded is always a smart move. Thanks for tuning in to today's video on the 1979 Washington quarter dollar Liberty coin. If you enjoyed learning about this valuable coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future coin discoveries. Until next time, happy collecting.